Okay, guys. I actually added some details here that are a little weird. Hold on, let me turn the music here. Let's see. Why? Anyways, okay. So I added some details here that I'm gonna actually use to create the rest of my let's just see here. I actually want to use this. Now, before I do anything else to it, I want to I want to split it. So I'm actually going to go in here and hide this part, and I'm going to go to my front plane, start a new sketch, and I'm going to split this at an angle here and here. Just going to draw some lines, and then draw another line, then exit, and then I'm going to go to Insert, Features, Split, select the resulting bodies. I'm going to consume these pieces, and then click OK. Apparently something about saving my part. I should probably do that. I haven't saved it at all. I'm going to unhide this this body real quick. I'm going to save this. Okay. So before I do too much more, I want to fillet these edges here. So I'm going to go to Features, Fillet. I'm going to grab this edge and this edge. I'm going to pump this up to about 4, maybe a little bit larger, like 5, 6. Okay. And then I want to fill it around this edge here. I'm going to bring this back down to 3. So I have this little nubbin area. You can design this however you want. I mean, this is probably not deep enough or strong enough to really support anything, but I'm just kind of showing you how this works. The next thing I want to do is start a sketch on this face right here, and I'm going to add a circle there. Okay? So I'm just going to go Sketch and start a sketch right here. And just draw a circle on this face. And I'm going to dimension this at about 5. Maybe 5.5. Okay. And so far that's pretty good. I can actually cut into this so the rail actually looks like it's going into this. So I'm going to go to Features, Extruded Cut, use this sketch, and I'm going to extrude into it about 2. And then just add a small fillet right on this edge of 0.5. And lastly, I want to actually start a new sketch right in here and convert the entities of that. And so that way I have this center point that I can draw my coincident lines off of, so I can draw my profile sketches so I can actually create this rail. So next I want to actually go up here and start the rail mount up here in the front. And to do that, I'm going to go up to one of my planes up here. I think that first plane is good. So I'm going to start a cross section on that and say OK. And do plane and start a sketch on that as well. And go normal to that. And I'm just going to draw a little profile in here. I'm going to mirror this, so I'm going to kind of wing this a little bit here. I actually kind of want this to fade almost to nothing in here, so I'm going to have it inside of the seat right here. And I'm going to put a mirror line And I'm going to mirror these pieces about this line. Okay, so that's the first piece. The next piece, I'm more than likely going to have to put a plane here. Yeah. So I'm going to select plane 1 and then start a new feature and select an endpoint of where I want to start where the rails actually get inserted on this. And I'm going to do that like right in this area. So okay. Then I'm going to do a sectional view with that. Select OK. Go down to that plane, start a new sketch. And within this sketch, I'm going to go normal too. And you can see the original profile here. I don't need to trace anything there. I'm actually going to go in here and just, I'll have to end up mirroring this. So I want to do a nice curve right here. One of the things you might want to do is draw one of your circles in here just to get an idea of how big this needs to be. So we know this is 5.5. So 5.5. And you can turn this this line in for construction. And then you can kind of, adjust around this so you can see how you want to design this. Okay, so now I'm just going to mirror this. And then exit that sketch. So I'm going to turn off the sectional view, and I'm going to go into my features and do a lofted boss and select this profile and this one. Here, I'm going to say OK, but I need to make sure it doesn't merge the result. Say OK. And the final thing I want to do is actually go in here and cut out some holes here. So I'm going to start the space right here and start a sketch. And I can actually convert the entities of this, and then I'm going to draw a center line from this point, or from my origin actually. And I'm going to mirror this. Okay. And so I can extrude cut it in with this at 2. I just unselected auto select so I make sure it's only extruding into this piece. And then I need to do I need to start a new sketch on this plane and convert by holding shift. I'm going to select these two faces and convert those entities. Select OK. And I can go to features, fillet. I'm going to start a fillet right there. Put that at the 5. 5's too big, so 2. Oh, look at that. I totally messed up my drawing, which I don't like. So maybe if I go back into this loft, edit this feature, I can hopefully adjust these green lines so it's symmetrical. There. This fillet comes broken, so I need to re-edit it. Delete the missing edge. And select that piece. I should now be able to bring this up to 5 or maybe 10. And then, oops. I also want to quickly fillet this edge right here at 2. And then I'm going to fill it all the way around that at 2 as well. Okay, so last thing to do is just fillet this top piece right here at probably 0.5 and these edges right here. And I'm going to change this color to purple so I can see it. Also going to change this color to purple as well. Okay. So you're pretty much ready to design this rail, and then you can mirror over those two features, and you'll be set. It'll be all done, and you can just stylize this, and you can do whatever you want. So to do that, I want to hide this piece, and I want to go and start a sketch on my top view. Okay. Now I can see where the start of the center point of the circles are right here. And I need to just start my sketches off of that, based off of that. So I'm going to draw a line from this point that goes straight out. And then I'm going to go in a little bit, and then straight out again for some distance, and then back in, and then straight again. And I want to connect this point, and I'm going to angle this and hold shift and select this point over here and say coincident. Okay? And now it's actually not touching, but it is in the y-axis it is touching. So I'm going to adjust these so this looks a little bit more realistic. So this probably goes about back there, and this probably sticks out a little too much, but that looks about the right distance. And I'm just not using any measurements to get this, but that should be pretty good. So you need to set some guides for yourself here, and you can add these by just setting out some guide curves. And while you're doing this, because you need to line up these kinks, okay? So we're just making sure that these kinks are all going to be lined up on the next sketch we're going to do. So it says this sketch has got some dimensions that don't exist anymore. I need to edit that real quick. Okay. So I've created this top sketch, and I'm going to now go into my side sketch right here and draw a sketch that's also in line with these pieces, okay? So I need to go into my front plane and start a new sketch. And what I need to do is draw some vertical lines. And I'm going to actually say, I'm going to select this point and the point on this circle and say coincident. Okay? And I'm going to make another coincident line. Make this vertical line here. And select this point, holding shift, selecting the center point right here. Select OK. Or select coincident. I want to make sure though that, okay, yeah. Make sure though that you're not selecting your guide point and you're selecting the point of the actual curve that's extruded into this, not this curve. Don't select this curve or any point on that curve or it won't work, okay? But this, if you look at it, it should be lined up here, so I'm also going to select this point and this one and say coincident. And I'm going to do that again, this point and this one and say coincident. So if these are vertical and these go coincident here, then and they go coincident up there, then you know that you've drawn your boundary guidelines perfectly. So the next thing to do is now you need to draw some vertical lines, some more vertical lines that will set up for your kinks, okay? So I'm going to just go through here and draw a bunch of these vertical lines. I need to draw 4. Because I have four kinks. I'm going to select this point and that point, see, or even this one, or this line, and say, it shouldn't pierce. Hold on. So let's just select this point and this point. It's like coincident. Let's select this point and that point. Say coincident. And I keep doing this all the way down the line. Select this point and that point. Say coincident. Same with this one. This line and this point and say coincident. Okay? Now, the thing that you need to pay attention to is when I go into the side view, I'm actually going to start my side view sketch up here, okay? So I'm going to draw a line and go from here down to here, down, select that point, this point, and then back up to this coincident point. And now I need to adjust these. So I'm going to make this one horizontal. I'm going to also make this horizontal. And then this one horizontal. And I'm going to pull this up. So now you can see the side profile of my seat, and I kind of want it to stick out right here. And that looks good. Now, before you actually can sweep a circle across this, when you make the 3D curve, you actually have to fillet this. And it's going to ruin some of your relations. But let's see what we can do. We could do a fillet of 2. Maybe let's do 5. I'm just going to fillet through this whole thing. Okay, so it filleted fine on this, but when I go back to this sketch, I'm going to edit this sketch, and I'm going to add some fillets here. It's going to actually delete some relations here, which I'm going to have to go back and delete them. But keep in mind that if you don't mess with those sketches, you should be fine. Okay? So it looks like actually there's no errors. It's still saying coincident. I can go back into the sketch and see it looks like everything's still coincident, which is great. Okay. So the last step is to make this into a 3D curve that comes out of these holes. And right now you can see they aren't. But if you do a projected curve of these two curves, then the projection of these two curves, then you'll get this the average of them, and you'll get that 3D curve coming through here. So I'm going to go to Insert, Curve, Projected, and select this curve and this curve. And now I have my 3D curve coming out of my seat, and these are my seat rails. Okay. I'm going to select OK, and with my curves on, I'm going to I'm going to open a 3D sketch, select this curve, and convert the entities of that, and select and say OK. So all I need to do now is create a swept boss, select one of these profiles and one of these guide curves, and don't merge the bodies. So if you go under options, don't merge the results, select OK. So now you have your rail, and you should be ready to mirror this. So I'm going to go into mirror, I'm going to mirror on the front plane. And I also want to mirror this piece, this body as well, this feature. But it's not going to mirror over my fillets, so I need to select them. See if that works real quick. Yeah, so hold on, let me go in here and actually select the bodies to feature. Select this one, select the bodies to feature, this body, and this sweep. And there you go. You now have your rails. You can unhide everything, and I'm going to turn off my sketches and my curves. Now I'm going to also turn off these lines so you can kind of see what's going on here. Next, the last two things I'm going to do is I just want to change the color of this. And change the color of the seat. Alright. So with this, now if you wanted to go here and make this a different color, I'm not sure in Keyshot if you turn this piece, this space into a different color, then it will work or whatnot. But my thoughts were that you could potentially start a new part with this piece, right? And you could literally select this face right here. So you have the seat saved out, right? So if you want to make this a different color, I'm just going to show you real quick what you could do. Save this out, and this seat is complete. It's ready to be brought into Keyshot, and you can add colors to it and whatnot, and graphics and labels and everything. But if you wanted to make this piece a different color, the quickest way to do that is to save this as one part, and then open this up, save it as a different name, and then so I'm going to just save this right now. I'm going to save this, and now I'm going to say save this as, let's see here, bike seat underbody. Okay. And the easiest way to do this is you grab the Extrude surface tool and select the surface that you want. And I'm actually going to extrude this surface out at I need to select the direction of extrusion, so I need to go back into my sketches and select one of these. Within the direction, I need to select one of these pieces, and you can see right now it's extruding the edges of that surface. If I cap it, I could cap end, and everything will be fine. But the problem is this is not a solid. And if you go in here and say delete original faces and knit result, it's actually going to merge this piece to this body, which you don't want it to do, right? Because you want to be able to bring this surface in as a different piece in your assembly and kind of move it up inside of the body, and you can color this different. You can make this a different color. So I'm not gonna delete the original faces. I'm gonna say OK, and just click OK on that. Okay. Now, with all that said, I can basically select this surface body, and you should be able to make it a new part. So you should be able to export that piece as a new part. So all this seat, got my caps lock on, seat underbody, and I'm going to save this in the right location. So this is opening one. Well, should be able to well, you should be able to like export this body. I mean, the other things you could do is just go through here and delete the bodies, and you have this surface that you can import. Now the surface isn't capped. It looks like it's not capped on the top. It's only capped on the bottom. But you could potentially, color this surface a different color, and then bring this surface into an assembly and move it up inside the body, and then you kind of fake having this shell. But I mean, surfacing and all that stuff, I'm going to show you in the next tutorial next week on how to kind of deal with things like this and turn things like this into a solid, okay? But for now, you should be pretty good. And that's the end of this tutorial. I hope you guys learned how to do a lot of different things with this, and hope that this neat tutorial helped you. Okay. If you have any questions, just email me. Thank you.